Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Boruto manga. We're going to be covering chapter 64 today. And in today's chapter, or this month's chapter I should say, we continue the battle between Boruto and Code. This time around, Boruto is accessing more Momoshiki's powers, while not being taken over by Momoshiki himself. So, how was the chapter overall? Well, before I get into the chapter review, you know the drill. If you're new to the channel, you like this type of content, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that cool stuff. Anyways, let's talk about this chapter. Now, at the start of this chapter, both Code and Kawaki are under the impression that Boruto has actually been taken over by Momoshiki. Code's even perplexed by this, wondering how Momoshiki is able to take over his consciousness so often and to this degree. And Kawaki starts yelling at Momoshiki, but it turns out that Momoshiki hasn't awakened here. Boruto is in complete control, and he's accessing Momoshiki's powers. Now this is pretty interesting. It seems like this could be potentially a side effect of the drugs. Maybe Amado is withholding some information here, but it seems to be suppressing Momoshiki in this case. We then resume Boruto versus Code, and it's interesting because when Boruto creates his shadow clones don't have the karma or the Byakugan eye. Pretty interesting, but anyways, I think it's pretty interesting here what Code does. He straps a belt right onto Boruto and basically hops to a nearby tree, stretches his claw arm through the belt, and starts taking out Boruto's shadow clones one by one. But Boruto ends up actually getting another one of his shadow clones to help him out by pulling Code straight out of the frickin' belt and just clobbers him, which I thought was pretty nice. It was a pretty cool scene. I actually can't wait to see that one when it hits the anime, whenever that is. Could be a little while before the anime gets to this scene, since the anime is so close to the manga, but you know what I mean. Meanwhile, Naruto over here is actually utilizing Sage Mode, having two clones to gather natural energy. I know there was a couple people that were complaining, why in the heck is Naruto not using Sage Mode? Why hasn't he used Sage Mode this entire time? Well, here you go. He's using Sage Mode now, so. Yeah, moving on. They decide to hone in on Boruto's chakra, because Kawaki's obviously masking his. There's no point in trying to track Kawaki. Let's just track Boruto. So, that's what they're doing, and Naruto instructs Ino to do that. Nishi over here, I still don't know how this guy has a job still. He's apologizing over here, but Naruto's like, whatever. Just do your job now. Actually, do something, competent for once, dude. You kind of suck as a sensory ninja. But anyways, Shikamaru shows up, and yeah, he's not going to allow Naruto to go on his own. That'd be suicide, so he's going with Naruto. Also, Hinata wants to go and help out, but Naruto wants her to stay and protect Himawari. So Naruto and Shikamaru head out. And I know this panel caused some controversy this last week, and I have to say, I don't think that this was really a big deal. Naruto is just looking out for his wife and his daughter. I mean, I would love Hinata to eventually get evolved someday again. It is kind of annoying that she's just not really that relevant when it comes to fighting anymore, and she's just the mom of the series. And yeah, like I said, I would like to see her get involved someday in a future fight, but, that's to be seen. But, I don't think this is as big of a deal as some people were, or a certain somebody was making this out to be. But anyways, moving on. Anywho, back to the fight between Boruto and Code. So Boruto attempts to absorb Code's belt, but he can't do so, and it's because while the belts are embodied with chakra, it's basically iron mixed with his blood, so they're essentially physical matter. So, and as we know, karma can't absorb physical matter. We've already established that in the past, so yeah, it's not going to work out here. The interesting thing here is that Code reveals that he's aware of Boruto being under the influence of Amado's drugs. And Boruto himself is wondering what the heck, how in the heck does he know about that? Obviously, Code has been talking with Ada, and Ada thinks that it's probably a byproduct of Boruto using Amado's drugs. But yeah, anyways, it really doesn't matter, as Code puts it, whether he takes the meds or not. He's eventually going to become Momoshiki. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave now. I'll pick you back up when you've transformed into Momoshiki, and then I'll feed you right to the Ten Tails when you're ripe and ready. Anyways, Kawaki, let's go. He literally just disappears into his belt, comes up behind Kawaki and is about ready to take Kawaki away, but Kawaki actually uses a shadow clone and knocks Code back. And then Boruto comes in with a Rasengan and separates the two completely. Now obviously Code is a little perplexed here because Kawaki was very willing before to go with him to see Ada, but now he's actually resisting. And yeah, this is kind of ticking Code off, and Code over here is like, hey guys, look, I'm getting mad, so let me just tell you this simply. This will go a lot easier if you just obey me. You try and resist, you're going to complicate stuff. So yeah, Kawaki, you come with me, and Boruto, you just stay here until you become Momoshiki. I'll pick you up in like, I don't know, 3 months or a year or two when you finally transform to Momoshiki. Those drugs, they'll work for a little bit, but you'll eventually become Momoshiki, so I'll pick you up in a little bit. How does that sound? Obviously Boruto's like, yeah, no bro, that ain't gonna work. Let's face off against one another. I'll take you down. And we have Naruto locating Boruto's location and where he's at, and identifies Code's chakra. So they realize that Boruto and Kawaki are facing off against somebody else. So Naruto and Shikamaru are effectively on their way. And moving back to Boruto versus Code, at this point Boruto is actually doing pretty good. He lands a couple hits, like a headbutt right to Code, and then he also kicks him, but obviously Code has his ability with the belts and catches Boruto off guard a couple of times. But there's an interesting part here where after hitting Boruto, Boruto quickly puts together a Vanishing Rasengan, and this freaks out Code. I mean, Code is actually panicking here. He just very narrowly avoids getting hit by this Vanishing Rasengan. If he would have been hit by that, that potentially could have been game over. Who knows if this Vanishing Rasengan has been enhanced in any way. Probably not, but if it would have hit Code, it would have probably done quite a bit of damage and may have left him vulnerable to counterattack by both Boruto and Code. Or Kawaki, excuse me. But yeah, I find it funny that Code over here admits that, yeah, that was a close call, bro, but yeah, that ain't happening again. But Ada over here is like, dude, what the heck? You almost fell for that. Like, you're not being careful. Like, if you go down, that's it. And what am I supposed to do? I'm never gonna be able to meet Boruto or Kawaki now thanks to that. So don't screw up anymore. Boruto over here is like, yeah, now it's time to just go all out. And, well, can't really exactly go all out because in that moment Boruto literally collapses. And he's literally having like either spasms, like major spasms, or like a massive heart attack, or something just going on within him. Something is like tearing him apart from the inside, it seems, as the chapter comes to an end on a massive cliffhanger, as we have Naruto and Shikamaru heading to Boruto's location, and Boruto over here seems to be having a heart attack. So what a way to end off this chapter. Now overall, I thought this was an enjoyable chapter. I will say I really hope that the next chapter is pretty much the end of this battle between Boruto and Kawaki versus Code, or something major happens. Like, I'm curious to see what happens to Boruto. Like, is Boruto out of commission? Is something going to happen? Is Momoshiki basically attacking him from within and is trying to take over? What's going on? I mean, I like when these chapters end on cliffhangers like this. Like, I think this cliffhanger is like a bigger cliffhanger that we've had in like probably a long time. I mean, the last couple of chapters have had some interesting cliffhangers, but this one is probably the most significant considering Boruto seems to be in dire straits. But when it comes to this chapter as a whole, once again, it just feels like everything's going at a snail's pace. Like, yeah, things were like going by really fast a couple chapters ago, but it seems like things have really slowed down. And this battle is, it's taking a little bit too much time, in my opinion. It's kind of like the Boro fight, where it went on probably a chapter, maybe a chapter and a half too long, in my opinion. Where I feel like things could have slowed down and they could have actually done some other stuff. Like, obviously there's stuff going on in the background while this battle's going on. Like, I like the fact that we have Naruto using Sage Mode. That's a plus. But that's really all that's going on, really, besides Naruto and Shikamaru heading into the battlefield or going to Boruto's location. Other than that, it's Boruto versus Code. The paneling in this chapter was kind of meh. There were some cool shots. Like, I like some of the shots of Boruto in this chapter, and some of the shots of Code, and obviously I like the shot of Naruto with his two clones gathering natural energy, and he's in Sage mode. That's pretty cool. But yeah, again, when it comes to paneling, the Boruto manga often struggles when it comes to this. Same with the art sometimes. The designs for the characters are pretty nice, but yeah. Ikimoto really does need to step up his game in some areas for sure. Now, even though I'd say that this fight is probably the most interesting thing we've gotten from the manga in a long time, at least since the beginning of 2021, I should say, I do want this fight to start wrapping up in the next chapter. It's been going on for a couple chapters. It's time to move on. I don't want Naruto and Shikamaru to show up at the end of next month's chapter, and then we go into 2022 wondering what the conclusion of this fight's going to be. Obviously, there's a lot of questions going in the next chapter, and I like that the Boruto manga likes to leave us on cliffhangers. That's a good thing. I just think we need to start wrapping this up. And then after this whole ordeal, we really need to start moving into the time skip, or do something like significant soon, because the longer that we're stuck in this pre-time skip era, I feel like the manga is just dragging on, and we really need to get to the point, in my opinion. Because as long as we're in this pre-time skip era, it's holding not only the manga back, but the anime back, because obviously the anime can't cross over from the manga. I feel like once the manga finally gets to the time skip, we can finally, I feel like it would relieve a lot of the pacing issues that the manga and the anime are dealing with right now. Just my opinion, but I just don't want this to drag on too much longer. Like, maybe have a couple chapters post Code battle, figuring out what the heck's going on with Boruto. Maybe Kawaki didn't get kidnapped. He's being reprimanded for what he did, and he's probably going to go seek Amado and get another karma, because I think this whole situation is going to teach him that, yeah, he's pretty much useless without the karma seal, so he's going to want Amado to give him an artificial one or something like that. But anyways, I'm not trying to hate here. I just really think that the Boruto manga really needs to start moving on, because the pacing has been really bad this year, in my opinion, when it comes to the storytelling. So hopefully things pick up coming up, and especially when we get to the time skip, because that's what I'm really interested in now, where this story is going from here. But again, these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that we should be moving to the time skip sooner than later? Just let me know in the comment section down below. But anyways, I'm going to end off the video there on that note. So overall, I found this chapter to be pretty decent to good. I'd say this is either a 6 or 7 out of 10 chapter, just in my opinion. There's a lot of things I did like in it, but it really does feel like we need to be moving on from this, because I feel like this is dragging on. But I am interested to see what's happening to our boy Boruto, since he's having a little bit of a heart attack here. So in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. Do you like this chapter? Did you hate this chapter? What do you think is going to happen in the next chapter? Post your predictions for chapter 65 in the comment section down below. And again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And guys, have a good day or night, wherever you're at. I'm probably going to start working on the Pokemon Journeys review now. So, yeah.